The Chicago Police Department has acquired and used several varieties of advanced cell phone trackers since at least 2005 to target suspects in robberies, murders, kidnappings, and drug investigations. In most instances, officers only lightly described the device's advanced technical surveillance capabilities to courts, which allowed the police to use them, often without a warrant. Now, after a lengthy legal battle waged by Freddie Martinez, a Chicago software technician, court orders and case notes were released, painting a more detailed picture of how the second-largest police precinct in the U.S. uses surveillance technology to track cell phones. Martinez, who leads the Lucy Parson Labs, a Chicago-based nonprofit that advocates digital rights and transparency, originally sued for records in September 2014. He provided the release documents to The Intercept. The Chicago Police Department did not respond to request for comment. Cell site simulators, or IMSI catchers, are typically suitcase-sized devices that emit signals over the wireless spectrum, masquerading as legitimate cell phone towers. When a nearby phone attempts to connect to a tower, either to make a call or to check for service, it will instead link up to the rogue device, beaming back information about its location, its owner, and sometimes the contents of communications. While tracking one cell phone, the device also often sweeps up information about all the other phones in the area and can disrupt cell service. It's unclear exactly how long the disruption lasts, or how far the range of each device extends. Activists are currently challenging the Federal Communications Commission to step in and regulate how law enforcement uses IMSI catchers, because they interrupt wireless service without authorization, posing a danger to emergency communications. The tools. According to the purchase records, some of which Martinez had previously obtained in more redacted form, the Chicago Police Department's Organized Crime Division spent hundreds of thousands of dollars over more than 10 years buying multiple different models of IMSI catchers, as well as upgrades, training programs, software, and attachments. The department purchased Harris Corporation's Stingrays, a popular model used by many police departments across the country, and Kingfish, a more powerful cell phone tracker. It also bought DRT boxes, known as dirt boxes, military-grade trackers made by Digital Receiver Technology Incorporated, a subsidiary of Boeing. The Kingfish, which cost $157,300, gave investigators the capability to enter large structures and pinpoint a device digitally, essentially spotting a specific cell phone behind walls. The device was purchased using a combination of drug money, civil forfeiture, and money laundering funds, a secret reserve. Martinez and the Chicago Reader, Chicago's alternative weekly, wrote about in September in an article portraying the people who seized possessions contributed to purchasing this type of equipment. The surveillance equipment is purportedly used in what is called exigent circumstances, that is investigations into kidnappings, homicides, endangered missing juveniles, suicidal subjects, etc., according to a 2011 purchase request. However, the author of the request, Sergeant James Washburn, also wrote it would be used during narcotics-related investigations, justifying the use of money obtained during the city's war on drugs. In an attached purchase justification letter, Washburn indicates that project buildings, slang for subsidized housing often occupied by poor and minority communities, and other large residential dwellings are a problem for investigators, because Stingrays can't locate cell phones within specific apartments. The Kingfish, however, can. Washburn cites an example of a case where it took several extra days to apprehend suspects, because they needed to obtain phone records rather than simply track the phone, though he cited no real repercussions for the delay. Had the Technical Services Group been equipped with a portable Kingfish tracking unit, the offenders would have been apprehended that evening, Washburn wrote. Although this is a large disbursement of civil forfeiture funds, the R/Sergeant believes that the second-largest police department in the United States should be equipped to handle any and all law enforcement-related situations. Washburn also encouraged the Organized Crime Division to keep quiet about the technology, as it is proprietary in nature and knowledge of its existence could jeopardize the integrity and success of these types of investigations. Police departments, the FBI, and manufacturers like Harris have fought for years to keep records of the cell phone trackers secret, opting to throw out court cases rather than reveal specific details about their use. The Kingfish isn't the only device the Chicago Police Department bought from Harris. An upgrade of the department's Stingray device in 2009 cost $164,500, and included a handheld, portable device for use in multi-unit buildings. The Stingray 2 would be used in a majority of narcotics investigations, or 60% of the time. The police paid another $18,000 for an Amberjack in 2009, a small circular device that acts as an antenna monitoring signal strength of nearby phones. In 2005, a technician in the Gang Intelligence Division told his commander that the unit needed upgrades on several cell phones trackers, revealing which types of phones are tracked by which device. The Stingray, whose update cost $23,500, could track Verizon, US Cellular, and Sprint phones, while the DRT box could track Singular, T-Mobile, and Nextel devices. Additionally, it's likely the Chicago Police Department is hiding other surveillance equipment it's using. One document separately obtained by Martinez mentions an item of a covert nature manufactured by Key Corporation costing $7,500. The name is redacted. Based on the manufacturer and the price, it's likely the item purchased by the CPD was a jugular, a cheaper, smaller cell phone tracker that may not require a court order to use, because it passively monitors radio waves rather than conducting active surveillance and recording data. Key didn't respond to request for comment. Court records. The Chicago PD also turned over 43 records of times they deployed cell phone trackers in the past 10 years, which Martinez suggests is likely still lower than the actual amount of times the devices were used. The number of documents related to the deployment of Stingrays seems dubious at best. CPD continues to maintain that no logs of IMSI catchers being checked in and out of the tech lab exists, even though they are required to keep such records, he wrote in an encrypted text message. Even so, the various court orders and requests reveal how investigators present in their use of Stingray devices to judges. In most applications to use an IMSI catcher, officers identified the device as a pen register in the form of a digital analyzer. In identical footnotes in each case, a digital analyzer is depicted as nothing more than a simple antenna that detects signals emitted by the target telephone. According to the filings, the device does not intercept any content of communications, but instead locates a phone by a number already known to investigators while in the same general area. However, it only takes a simple software upgrade to allow the Stingray to track the contents of calls and text messages. The judge in Martinez's Freedom of Information case, Cook County Circuit Judge Kathleen Kennedy, disparaged the Chicago Police Department for trying to argue that the cell site simulators qualified as pen registers and trap and trace devices, or simple devices that record numbers dialed in and out by a phone, and therefore qualified for protection from disclosure. Because IMSI catcher's capabilities are broader, it is improper to equate them to and treat them as pen registers and trap and trace devices, she wrote. The record reflects that IMSI catchers, also known as cell site simulators or Stingrays, can capture a cell phone's unique serial number, its location, and the content of calls, text messages, and web pages visited. However, a simple pen register device was exactly how the police explained the technology to the court in the past. A court order to install a pen register requires less oversight than a warrant, because its installation is not regarded as a search, the Supreme Court has held. However, police now have to get a warrant to use Stingrays in Baltimore after a Maryland appellate court decision in March recognized the invasiveness of the device. Each PAN register request also contains the caveat that any information obtained besides the location of the targeted phone cannot be retained or used during the investigation. This suggests the officers understand that the device is capable of sweeping up more information than the location of their target. However, the requests go into almost no detail on how much information is collected, how it's disposed of, and how cell phone service will be impacted in the area. Multiple approved court orders include authorization for police to actually contact the suspect in order to force his or her phone to connect to the cell phone tower and allow them to track it. However, with upgrades to the trackers in recent years, that is likely no longer necessary. In some of the cases where it deploys stingrays, Chicago police, according to the documents, works alongside other federal agencies, including the FBI, the DEA, the U.S. Marshals Service, and the Secret Service. Chicago's internal case database revealed multiple uses of triggerfish devices, another Harris product that allows law enforcement to eavesdrop and intercept conversations without the phone company or